Previously on Lost.
Greetings, Ron Smalek here.
And Fellonius the Wizard, and we're still keeping on with previously on Lost. This time we are going through the episodes 16, 17, and 18 in Season 2.
And you know what, Fellonius?
Yeah.
When I need the guns, I'll get the guns.
Yeah, exactly. That was a tough one. This one's now it's really shaping up. We can tell you that. Well, perhaps not in the first one, but still, the first one is called The Whole Truth.
Yeah, it's actually nice to get episodes about our original Losties now that we've kind of seen the background of the tailies.
Yeah, but we need to have that.
Yeah, but it's nice to get back to them. So.
Our pack.
Yeah, should we jump right into it?
Why not? I know that you're excited to get to the other two episodes, so let's pass the sleepy one. I read first episode 16, the back of my DVD, and here we go. The Whole Truth. Sun wrestles with the idea of telling Jin a newfound secret that threatens to upset the entire balance of the survivors' community. Ooh. Locke enlists Ana Lucia to interrogate the prisoner in order to extract more information than he, Jack, or Sayid could. Well, that was very short.
Yep. I don't really see how Sun's secret would upset the whole island. But
yet another baby.
I mean, Charlie is like back in everybody's good graces as if nothing ever happened. So
more or less, and that's not really, but still.
So
it's about Yin and Sun, at least, or should we say Yin?
Jin, yeah. I think they say Jin on the show, and I knew it. Last. That episode where we saw Sun and Jin come out of their tent and then Hurley.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, she's going to get pregnant.
Okay. Well, I don't know how much other means they have to stop it, so she's not on the pill, I suppose.
Well, this one, did you like this episode overall?
Well, the main thing was that I was still looking for the title, The Whole Truth. Is anybody going to tell the whole truth finally? Mm-hmm. That hasn't happened so far.
No.
And it didn't this time either, of course not.
Yeah, this one I felt was a little bit slow, but more so I didn't like it because I feel like Jin is a jerk twice in this episode. And he, when I first watched the show a bunch of years ago, he was okay. I didn't really think much of him. But this season, this watch, I've really come to like him as one of my favorite characters. And this episode just flipped that on its head. I was like,
totally. First of all, to ruin the garden, and there's several other things, but that's not nice. That's not how to do it.
So
he's reacting to what Charlie did earlier. That was tried to drag her a bit into the forest, the jungle. But still, he's reacting to that.
Yeah.
But come on, you don't have to ruin anyone's garden just because of that. And he should know, as a fisherman's son, that fiddling with the garden is actually one of the few things that women do, at least in Asia. If I've ever seen anything.
Yeah, well, I mean, he was on such an upturn.
Yeah,
and it seemed like he was his old self from the beginning of the show, which
and we didn't like him.
Yeah, then. and even in the flashback, he accuses her of withholding information about her ability to conceive.
Yeah,
and rushes out of the room. I was just like, come on, don't be a baby.
Exactly. But that's our Westerners. That's our way of seeing it. Because for him, it is, as he also noticed, if they get a baby, her father would probably make it easier on his life.
Yeah.
So he is thinking twice, actually. But we don't understand that because we don't understand her father.
Yeah, not. We haven't really seen. Well, I think we understand the archetype, though.
Yeah.
He's some
Yeah.
shady businessman.
Yeah. Singapore Mafia or whatever we have, Hong Kong Mafia. No, not totally sure. I don't know what I've seen so far or read so far.
Yeah.
It was an all-time low on the English teacher. They were kissing. I didn't like that.
Oh, I really the bald guy, Mr. Lee, right? So somehow, so I had to watch this one twice because I fell asleep in the middle of it. But I used to be under the impression that Sun had been with that guy, but in this one she didn't, right? Like it was flirty, but it didn't actually happen.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we are not totally sure.
Yeah, I mean,
And the whole thing is it a miracle that she's pregnant or isn't it? Because that's what this episode is all about. Jim is saying that it is a miracle, that because of him not being able to conceive, at least that's what Sun finally told him. And then it's just a miracle because she hasn't been with anyone else, right?
Right, that's what we're understanding. And so I mean, is it, so let's assume that she is, like, is it the island? Did the island
making Jim being able and so on.
Yeah.
Well, never know. But they haven't really. Nope. I didn't really get that feeling.
Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot of like supernatural about it. It was just, this is what's happened. It's 1 in a million chance, and I think
it has happened before. It actually has happened before.
Yeah,
I can even tell you that my son is 1 in a billion even, because when his mother went to the doctor, she got the impression that she will never be pregnant, and suddenly she became it. So, and here, well, that is happening. But still, I'm not totally sure about the events and the. Okay, let's see. How many days have they been on the island? 50 plus. 50 plus. That's 7 weeks. So she's into that problematic area, and that's why she's feeling nausea. Yeah, but if it is Mr. Lee who is the father, then they actually had to do it on the airport.
Yeah, pretty much. No, I don't think so. I think that's.
Should we scrap him?
Yeah, I don't.
I think so too. Well, now I'm feeling much more pleased. Thank you, because this is the main focus we can have. And then I was irritated too. Well, what about the balloon? What about the balloon? What about the balloon?
Well, before we go there, I think the other thing I'll mention is product placement. So far in this series, we've seen the Apollo candy bars.
Yeah,
we've seen obviously the Dharma logos.
Yes,
and then we saw Geronimo Jackson is a band that was made up, I think, for the show. In the record, they keep mentioning it, and also there was that manuscript that Hurley found that gets mentioned later, and now this episode we saw the first mention. The pregnancy test was made by a company called Widmore Labs.
Yeah.
So doesn't mean anything now, but just kind of put a little flag in Widmore Labs.
All right.
Yep. So. I mean, the only other thing that I noted in this is Henry kind of enjoying teasing Jack and Locke, pitting them against each other. Of course, Ana Lucia was with Henry as well, but
that didn't give us much, did it?
No, I kept waiting for some. I mean, I almost think they're starting to drag out. Who is this guy? Is he real or not? But it's okay. Like, I actually don't mind it.
But she at least got the map so that he could go away and search for the balloon.
Yes, and
that's good.
Is this, I am sorry, but is this the one at the end where Henry says, if I was the others, I'd send them to a secluded...
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. I didn't take notes on that part. That part, his delivery of that actually felt very spooky.
Yeah.
So I like that actor quite a bit.
Well, yeah, he's good, but he's getting on my nerves. And in this episode, he's really getting on my nerves.
In what way?
I'm not trusting him one bit. I'm not trusting him at all in this episode. And I was starting to doubt already in the last one we saw. Yeah. But now, no, he's not. He's like 1 or 2% secure. And that's also needed. Now, Sayid, Ana Lucia, and Charlie. What a combo, huh?
Yeah, that is a weird combo.
Is out looking for the balloon. And Sayid doesn't believe there is one. Ana Lucia would like to be certain this time. And Charlie's just moving about doing his own stuff as he always do. Yeah. He's that dull. But they are searching for it. And of course, every time they are closing in on the spot where it should be or whatever should happen, it starts to rain. I'm still not certain. Otherwise, I don't have much on this episode.
No, that's all I have. I mean,
Bernard and Rose actually are coming there, and they are not talking to each other. I can say.
Yeah, that was kind of fun. You can see
like an old married couple.
you can see. I actually felt like they have chemistry, even though they're arguing, and just their body language feels very comfortable together. I like. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
that was good.
Yeah, hoping we see more of them sometime soon.
Yeah, because they are balancing up all this stupid stuff. Like Charlie.
Well, Charlie, yeah, like I said, Charlie seems to have just sort of been forgiven or at least tolerated. I think he would have been ostracized completely, but whatever.
Sayid doesn't bother anymore.
Yeah.
He anyone can do whatever they want. If Charlie wants to drown the baby, that's his problem. Sayid doesn't bother. And Ana Lucia is, as I've started to suspect, she's trying to do something by herself because she's keeping to herself still.
Yeah, and
even if we are trying to help her.
Well, and I guess now that the guns are gone, there's no army, so
exactly.
So
I still don't understand that. I mean, if Sawyer wants to sleep, it's easy to just, fix him. But, never mind. Let's get to the next episode because there will be a lot of talk.
Yes. The next one is episode 17 of season 2 called Lockdown. The description is, when the hatch suddenly takes on a life of its own, Locke is forced to enlist the help of an unlikely ally. Meanwhile, Ana Lucia, Sayid, and Charlie go off into the jungle to find out the truth about Henry. Short and sweet.
Absolutely.
So,
nothing wrong.
Why is Locke having this particular series of flashbacks in this episode?
Trust.
So he's flashbacking about his dad doing one more con, but actually
he's doing a double.
Well, and he's sort of going along with it this time.
It's about trust.
Yeah, and then
the whole episode is about trust.
And Locke is starting to trust Henry, I would say, or he will by the end.
Yeah. Locke has always been a very trustworthy guy. He has easy to trust people because he doesn't know any other thing to do, and by the thing that the things that happened on the island, like his legs and so, he seems like he's been rewarded for his trust, sort of, by the island. So on the island, he's trying to restart that trust thing over and over again. Because he doesn't feel like any other thing works. And well, I totally could agree with him if I weren't on the other side in this case. Henry is not to be trusted. But Locke, well, he goes into that trap again and again and again. He does it with his father, and this is one of the flashbacks that I really like in this time, because now we're getting to know why Helen left him.
Oh man, that whole part where she shows up at the motel door,
Yeah.
it like almost brought me to tears, because like she delivers it so well, and Locke is so screwed in that moment.
Yep.
And she never, so in past episodes as well as this one, she doesn't ever really get like upset for herself. She's upset at what Locke is doing to himself, basically.
Yeah.
And what this father did to him, and like, it's just so good. So
yeah, and the thing is, of course, this episode starts with his father being dead. They are going to his funeral, and of course that is an end to it. That's one of the points you have to have inside your head, because Helen is now ending it. It's over.
Yeah.
And what Locke does later on, when he suddenly realizes that his father isn't dead, is that he doesn't tell Helen. And that's the only thing he does wrong in the whole episode, except for trusting Henry. But that's the only thing he does. He doesn't tell Helen. I've met my father. He wants to have some help.
Right.
He shouldn't ask her if he should help his father or not, because that's his problem and he should solve it. And I can tell you, I wouldn't trust my father in that case, but that's because I couldn't trust my own father. So I have that experience.
Well,
but delivering that stupid trust to his father again without having the same trust for his lady, man, that was bad.
Well, and like, so I'm just sitting there thinking, okay, if this guy gives me a safety deposit box key, there's something in there. He's trying to set me up, frame me for something. Somebody's
Absolutely.
watching that box. I would wait about like 5 weeks.
Yep.
And then I would either go, well, I thought about, okay, would I make Helen go? But I wouldn't want to get her in trouble. So I think I would go, but I would wait 5 weeks till people,
I wouldn't even take the key. I wouldn't. He needs to show me more signs that this is okay. I mean, first of all, he's trying to conceive that the fact that he isn't dead and stuff because he have fooled other people's. Now he has just fooled me of my kidney, and now he's fooling other people for 700,000 grand. And believe me, giving me 200,000. That's a lot of money, even in Swedish. It's like 1.6 million crowns.
Yeah.
And that would probably set me free from every debt that I ever can have. So it's a lot of money. It's not that. But that money doesn't give me any trust.
Well, I think I would be very curious what's in the box. I think I would scope out the bank and try to like make sure nobody's there. I would just want to see what's in there,
Well, I think it's more fun to see what that old geezer will do when he didn't get me to help him.
Yeah. So interestingly enough, the box number, did you catch the number on the box?
No, I didn't.
It was 1516.
No kidding.
So we have our numbers reoccurring.
Yes.
And did you notice whose house Locke was inspecting near the beginning of this episode? It was an Indian-looking woman. It was Nadia.
Nadia?
Saeed's old girlfriend.
No kidding.
Yeah, I'm almost positive. In fact, I'm sure
true.
it was.
Yes. And I didn't record that because I was thinking about something else, I suppose. I was actually sitting in hospital watching these 3 episodes, so I wasn't really comfortable.
Mm-hmm. Well,
but that I missed. That's nice.
Locke was not comfortable about halfway through this episode. He gets suddenly the hatch starts going crazy, and then a door falls on his legs.
Yes.
Just that looked so painful.
Well, that was stupid again. I mean, first of all, He managed to get a crowbar under. That's nice. And then he freed Henry to help him open up. And then they'll take the absolute thinnest material they can get, toolbox. And I can tell you, one of the first things I learned with cars, you do not use a toolbox to put underneath a car.
Right.
Okay, now you have learned that. Don't do it. And he's putting it under these big steel doors. I mean, if he were really a good man out, he should have known. I think he should have known. And then he's just throwing himself under the door.
Yeah.
Legs first. And that's the thing. Legs. It's his old legs that didn't carry him before.
And that's why I wondered, like, at first I was like, wait, why is this happening? Is this the island finally found them in there? Like, what's
I think this is the no, it doesn't make sense. That's the point. Well, it is some parachute with food at the same time. And these two happenings has to be related.
Yep.
The blast doors go down, and the parachute with food drops down
in the jungle.
And they are not really allowed to go outside because of the quarantine. So why is it food outside?
Yeah, exactly. So whoever made this place is basically doesn't want them to see the parachute drop for whatever reason, and so the lockdown is signals the delivery of food, and it must be that it comes like once every 2 months or something like that, at least.
Exactly, because we are not reaching 60 days yet. But that's cool. Well, I can see that, but if they are closed into quarantine.
Mm-hmm. Well, they have those suits that they can wear to go out and get the food, though.
True. And they have to have more food. Okay.
And I don't know. I mean, I worked in retail, and I've seen a pallet of food. I don't think that's going to feed 40 people for that long. Like you saw how much food Hurley had in his little cubby thing next episode. Like, that's almost more than fits in the pantry, even.
Yeah,
so
it feels like it.
Yeah, the showrunners are being a little bit generous with the food, but it's okay. It's okay.
You don't want Hurley to lose any weight, right?
Plus, when they're doing the poker thing and they have those piles of mangoes and bananas, like, they would have picked all those trees completely clean by now. After this many days, there wouldn't be any food left. But
exactly. Well, never mind. Let's see. What do we have? We have a lot.
Yeah, well, we have... So when the door comes down, the lights go out, and suddenly they're able to see Ultraviolet, and somebody has drawn a map on the inside of the blast door.
Yes. Oh, dear. That way on page 2.
And this was so cool for me. So this episode is basically when I decided to join the forums and start discussing this show.
I can see that.
And my username on those forums was Blast Door Map. So,
no kidding.
And man, I researched this, and I got high-res images of that map, and I looked at it and tried to figure out how many stations and what are they all called, and wait a minute. And I was like, wait a minute, look at this. They all sort of point towards the middle. What's in the middle? Oh, man. So...
Yeah. I didn't see all that, but I know what you mean. I thought I saw like 8-10 bunkers total.
Something like that.
Yeah. And there's something in the middle, yes. Because this is Dharma. All the island is Dharma. And now I'm getting a bit confused because the island is actually a character by itself, and I'm keeping to that. But the Dharma initiative is something much bigger. And the others are a part of Dharma somehow.
They certainly created a lot of stations, and I was wondering, it made me think that, you know how there's like all that cement covering the
Yep.
magnetic thing.
Yep.
I was sitting there thinking, well, wait, what if it's not like a magnetic thing, but like, is that a tunnel that connects all the stations together?
Exactly.
And they closed it up.
And that annoying thing in there is actually the motor or the energy thing that gives all the stations their energy.
Yeah,
You never know.
So this was like high detective time for me. This was
Absolutely.
This was so exciting to me. Like I almost didn't even care who Henry was. Was he a good guy or not at this point? I wanted to know about Dharma. And we're almost done with the season, so I don't know how much time is left. But yeah, so after the pallet drop, we have Saeed.
Oh, you are jumping.
Oh, well, go ahead and what did I skip over?
Let's see. There is a problem, what I had, because we start with the flashback of Locke's father being dead. And then suddenly Henry tells Jack and Locke about the map. And Jack becomes pissed and Locke gets confused. But he starts to get some sort of... Well, I think the map is actually what makes Locke becoming more trustworthy of Henry. And then we see Saeed, Ana Lucia, and Charlie finding the balloon. And then we are going to wait a long time before we hear anything about the balloon at all.
Yep.
And then they are getting back. And that's the most important.
But I wrote in my notes here, I wrote, what a nice ending Saeed knows. And I can't remember what it was at the end of this episode.
Yep.
Was that when Saeed... Did they get back to the hatch in this one?
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, yes.
Okay, then.
So why don't we... Then that's was my question. Why don't we see the balloon? We couldn't see the balloon. And suddenly they are back. And he is buried. And, oh, yes, he needs to tell them about that. Well, there wasn't any wife buried. It was Henry Gale who was buried. Okay, so suddenly Henry starts to whimsically talk about he was there with a broken neck and we just buried him with your bare hands and all that. And then Saeed takes up, it's a $1 note, $1 bill.
I think that's in the next one, isn't it?
Nope. Huh. It's in this one because I totally love this. So with a broken neck and buried, he is now, Henry Gale is making a little note to his wife Jennifer. And I really like that one.
Yeah. I like the way Saeed just basically lures him into digging himself deeper and deeper.
Yes. And suddenly I was thinking, then who is Henry Gale? Well, you never know. Mm-hmm.
Well,
let's see, there's something else.
Well, he's...
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, you were talking about the poker game.
Yep, Jack and Sawyer go at it.
Yep, and Hurley is also in it, also playing poker. And did you notice that Hurley didn't win?
Yeah,
the lucky
that's
guy.
True. That's true.
The lucky guy didn't win. Has his clean slate started now? Is he off that trick?
Yeah.
That being a jinx and all that?
Well,
jinxing things?
And he hasn't, he isn't blaming himself for all the things going wrong either, so...
No.
I think he's preoccupied with Libby.
Okay, yeah. That one is going to be very... We'll get to her later on. Yeah. And then Jack is actually playing Sawyer for the medicine.
Yeah, he gets it all.
Yep.
Which is interesting, and there's a weird part in this one. Maybe not a weird part, but there's a part where they talk about Thailand and Sawyer knows this name of this town, and he says that's where you got your tattoos. That was sort of whenever they have like a weird conversation that just doesn't seem to fit, I always take note of it now.
Yeah, but one thing that you can perhaps explain one thing to me. What the heck has Tallahassee to do with some problems with?
I think it's just a very southern part of Florida, and that's where like there's a lot of rednecks, or like I think he's implying that he was down there and he was like caught a venereal disease. And
yes, exactly, because when you're talking suddenly about VDs, and he's smiling, but not with a great smile.
Yeah, it's some kind of redneck thing. I'm not like, if you just said the name of that town, I've heard of it, but it didn't conjure up an image of like a dark, seedy place. But it seems like that's the implication.
Yeah.
So hopefully none of our listeners are from there.
Well, I don't have any problems with Tallahassee. So let's see. The only note I have on this one is also that Jack is actually lying to Kate, but who cares?
Yeah. I mean, she doesn't really do too much in this episode, but she's back to kind of flirting with both of them, I think.
Well, she's not going to get much further with Jack. That's one thing for sure. And she's actually doing a lot better work with with Sawyer, I must say. Now, back to what you started this episode with. Sawyer is actually asking Jack, why didn't you play for the guns? Mm-hmm. And Jack answers,
well, when I need the guns, I'll get the guns. I just thought that was such a nice delivery of that line.
Absolutely, and I wasn't prepared for that one at all. I just laughed hard and sitting in a hospital bed with others around me and suddenly laughing. And what do you know? What suddenly it showed that the lady who was in for about the same treatment as I was, she also had followed the Lost series. She's had all series. So when I explained that I was watching Lost for the first time, where are you? She wanted to know where I was in what season and stuff, and she could remember this. And I was, what? You are no nerd. And I had to ask her, well, what could she be? Perhaps 50 or something like that. I'm 58, so we're not that far apart. And I was like watching her and I said, hey, how come you've watched that one? I like that one. Oh, that was a very good show, she said. Okay. Well, now you know why I'm laughing. And she said, yep, that's a good show. She really liked it.
Awesome.
And I was, So, connecting people still, I can tell you that. Good. I think her name was Anne. I'm not totally sure, but that's what I think.
You didn't get her number?
No, she was married. Nevertheless, it's fun. Just me sitting there in a bed laughing at Lost and, Jack in this case. Yeah. And it's not often I laugh at him.
Yeah, I know. Admit. That's what I was thinking too. I was like, okay, just his handling of all this stuff is very confident, and I enjoyed him in this episode actually. Yeah.
It's not totally logical, but who have ever asked for logic in this episode, in this Lost at all? I mean, Sun has just been attacked. They should start an army. Sawyer gets the weapon. They can't yet start an army. And suddenly he's laid back and thinking about his medicine again. Jack being the hero, he should probably do some more army thinking. But on the other hand, if it wasn't the others who attacked Sun, then he could easily take care of the medicine first. Mm-hmm. And he didn't. And I thought that was a rather nice. And how funny it would be if suddenly they have played cards in the last episode and she's son is actually coming and want to have a pregnant test mm-hmm. while they are playing poker. They could have done that. That would be rather fun.
Yeah, but they basically needed to get them out of the hatch while the lockdown happened.
Yeah.
So, and I remember, just thought of this too, like, I remember initially wondering if there was any meaning because like lock and lockdown, but
Yeah, well,
that it happened to
sort of.
him. But I don't think so.
There is one more thing, and we didn't say that, but of course, Locke in the flashback is trying to propose to Peggy Bundy. Sorry.
Yeah,
I
I always think the same thing.
it's tough. She has actually put herself in that case. It's not my fault. And I haven't watched that much of those series. But still, he's still trying to propose to Helen in that situation. I mean, it's doomed. It's doomed.
I think if he hadn't gone to the motel,
Yeah.
if he had, or I think he would have told her, I think everything would have worked out. But he just always makes these choices that it makes me like, so when I look at him, how gullible he is and how dopey off island, and then I see him on island, like it's a huge leap. It's okay for him to think and play act, Walter Mitty, but I don't think I just find it hard to think of somebody actually pulling it off and actually being competent, being able to track, being able to throw knives, like.
Well, there are a lot of flashbacks still to see on Locke, I suppose. But still, he's got a clean slate. He is the one with the most clean slate so far. But he is slipping. He's slipping back as well. I can't even watch these series now without thinking about that tabula rasa we had in third episode.
I know.
First season.
I for whatever reason, it's just the characters and their tying the flashbacks to what's going on and them learning lessons is so much more interesting to me now than all the mystery, which I'm still enjoying.
Absolutely, and that blue light actually made it. Oops, that was so awesome. That was the most awesome so far in the series too, because I wasn't ready for that either. And well, it is going. I think it's going fine, and you're saying we are going towards our doom before it gets better again. I don't understand this. Third season might be very strange.
Yeah, no, so far, I mean, it's been fine. Like, even the episodes that I didn't care for are not, like, compared to other shows, they're fine.
Yeah.
So they're going strong right now. I think they had this season planned, and then I think next season they just let it go, and then halfway through the season they realized they were letting it go, and they brought it back, and then it. Yeah. So, but we'll get to that. For now,
exactly, because it doesn't feel like we are on the slope downwards. No. It feels like we are really. Well, I'm still enjoying this, and next episode must be, as far as I can concerned, you like this one as well. Should we move along to episode 18?
Dave.
Then I'll beat Dave. You and your Dave. Libby lends Hurley support when he begins to think the island is having a strange effect on him. And Locke's sense of purpose is shaken when the prisoner provides new information about the hatch. He doesn't, but that's not the point.
Well, okay. Well,
where should we start?
We should start with Hurley. So the opening scene was so awesome. Because Hurley goes through this emotional roller coaster. Libby helps him. He's going to give up food. He throws it all over the place.
Yes.
It was very nice. And then food falls from the sky. As soon as he gives it up, then it comes back. And you just see him. He's so broken by that. It was such a sweet, sweet scene.
You're a mean one, Mr. Ron. Because that was mean to him. It was.
Yes. The poor guy, I mean, I didn't like the fact that he was hoarding all the food because up till now, I just thought that he, was giving out the food and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But I just felt like this was just a good moment for him, and then
in the same thing, in the same time as he see all the food and stuff, he also see his old friend Dave.
Yeah.
And I don't remember Dave from the last time we were to that hospital.
No, he wasn't in it. Just in
This is the first time. This is the first time we see him, right?
Yeah, correct.
Good.
Yeah, I remember.
And
I remember being very annoyed with Dave the first time I saw this. I was like, okay, it's imaginary friend. Let's move on. But this time, like, I really, again, like, appreciated the character and like, okay, I'm putting myself in Hurley's head. Why is Hurley's brain making him see this particular guy? And, you know, like, what's the message? So what is Hurley trying to... What's the flashback in parallel to the episode?
Yes. But before we get into the flashbacks, because they are also a bit of funny, I think it's Libby who says that the island doesn't allow you to lose weight. Mm-hmm. And I thought, why do you say that? It should be Hurley himself who says it. And I was thinking, what? Why? Hold it. The island is a very nice character in my view. Why would it stop Hurley from losing weight? Wouldn't that be a nice clean slate? Again, clean slate. I'm going to be talking a lot about that. Wouldn't that be a nice clean slate for Hurley to start losing weight? I don't know how big he is, but he is a big guy.
So maybe once they opened the hatch, that broke his good luck streak, and now everything's bad, because he does say that he lost a few belt sizes.
Yeah, he did
before they found the food.
Yeah, and now they have food so they can play poker with it. But perhaps that goes for everyone then. As soon as they broke the hatch, everyone's clean slate is not really working anymore.
Yeah, I'm not sure. They haven't referenced it, but definitely...
No, not me, and nor have we. We haven't seen it as one. Now, the first thing we get back to in the hospital is to talk about the accident. Mm-hmm. And that was interesting. We haven't heard anything about that before, had we?
No. So basically, and the interesting thing is that 23 people died in the accident. That's the number.
No kidding.
It's one of the numbers.
It was only 2 who died. It was 23 on deck.
Oh, on the deck, yeah.
And it was only hold for 8. There's another number.
Well, so the interesting thing is right before this season or during this season, this was actually national news that there was a party in Chicago out on a deck and the deck collapsed. Like, this actually happened, and they wove it into the show. So
that's nice.
Yeah, so it was like, ripped from the headlines kind of thing.
Why not?
And this is obviously before he won the money. So he didn't go into the hospital after all that bad stuff. He was in there before he won the money. Well, actually, we knew that because that's where he got the numbers from.
Yes, exactly.
And also, awesome thing in this one, I did not realize this was going to happen, but Hurley says he's going to go back to the caves because no one lives there anymore.
Exactly.
I was like, oh, we just talked about that. So that was good.
Yeah.
And
so,
go ahead.
But who is Dave? Is he an imaginary friend? Why would he have an imaginary friend? I want to get inside Hurley's head on this one.
Well, I mean, I think it's just somebody who doesn't want Hurley to get better. He wants him on the island, and in real life he wants him to keep eating, and it's some part of Hurley that wants to punish himself, basically. Yeah,
but I'm not totally sure that I'm not an expert on this either. I'm not an expert on anything in the fields, but still, if I were now, Hurley was actually having a very bad moment about this accident. Yeah. He was catatonic. I don't even know what that is. But he was totally out.
Yeah, he was like stunned in a coma, kind of.
Yeah.
Staring. Yeah.
Let's keep it towards the coma stuff, because that was how I felt it, and that means that he has a couple of things blocked up there. He doesn't want to talk about it, and I don't think he really wants to remember it. But when did Dave occur first? And how do you put yourself into a Dave thing? If Dave is a nice guy and he wants to be around you and all that, he wants to have him go away and eat. I mean, why have Dave to blame? Why don't blame yourself? I was fat, I can just as well get fatter. Why do you need a Dave? I'm not totally sure that I understand that.
Well, I think the way I interpret it is like subconsciously he's punishing himself, and by the way that he's doing it is he's created this friend who is a bad influence, and he's convincing himself through this friend to keep eating more, to not take his medicine, to try to break out, to basically just be, bad. And so he can't punish himself, but he can have an imaginary friend that's punishing him, basically.
Yeah.
I think I'm sure there's some psychological name for this condition or whatnot, but I thought it worked. I thought it worked pretty well. And then, of course, it's gonna end with suicide. Now, I think on the island, well, I guess we have to assume that it's the same sort of hallucination, and not like the island is showing him this guy, because
the island is not.
Well, the island has shown like Jack's dad and Kate's horse,
the horse,
and all, like a lot of, and Walt. Like the island shows visions, although they try to make it always seem like there's a legitimate reason for people to hallucinate.
Yes, or to understand it, or to make it like a helpful hint or whatever. At least when in Kate's and her horse, because when the horse shows up, it's good.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, Walt is warning Saeed and Shannon. Or
at least Shannon, and now she's dead, so now he can't warn anyone anymore.
Yeah, and Jack sees his dad. I can't remember what benefit or harm that actually had.
Starting the heroism, I don't know. There is one thing that I didn't really understood. Hurley goes to Sawyer to get medicine. Hurley knows that Jack won all the medicine. I didn't really get that. I mean, why go to Sawyer for medicine when Jack already had won that in that poker game that Hurley was in the last episode? Didn't they do a little miss there? I
think that's a miss. I didn't even catch that. Wait a minute. Okay, Jack says I'll come back for the medicine tonight. So maybe this happens the same afternoon.
Yeah, okay, but Jack says that without Hurley listen to it.
Yeah. Okay.
So good. But everything's happening. There's so much stuff happening, though. True. And then he mentions the caves. Yeah, no one lives there, so I don't bother with anyone.
Yeah. After he tackles Sawyer, and that was awesome.
Don't mess with the big guy. We'll know that.
Well, you can see that he's so out of sorts because he's not a violent person, yet he was just so
frustrated.
Like the food thing just really knocked his mental state around.
Yeah.
So.
And then we have another problem coming up, and there was a photo. Dr. Brooks. What's his name?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, Brooks. I think his name was Brooks. He took a Polaroid of Dave and Hurley. And now I'm saying Polaroid because Dave later says, you can Photoshop and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you can't Photoshop a Polaroid.
No, I think that was just Hurley's mind scrambling to...
Exactly. That when I realized that, yes, it's 100% fantasy. Thank goodness. Now I know that. Yeah. Because it doesn't feel like Hurley knows much about photos or technical stuff as far as I can see.
Yeah, and I guess back then, I really had to sit and think about it. Back then, Photoshop, I guess people were starting to Photoshop stuff.
Oh yes.
But that was really the beginning of doing that, because technology, like I
Actually,
don't, yeah.
I had photo paint back in the 90s and late 90s. I could do it back then even. So, yeah. Never mind. Now, he's not there. According to the photo, he's not existing. Good. And then he's going to, they are going to escape. Hurley has stolen the keys from Brooks' office, and the first key fits.
Mm-hmm.
That's nice. How does Hurley know that?
Well, I mean, I guess he's been there 2 months and he's observed, and maybe subconsciously he just...
Okay.
I mean, I don't know. I didn't put that... it would have been a long show if they had to, sit and wait for him to try every key on it, right?
Why not?
Maybe the window... Maybe he never actually opened the window. Maybe he was standing there imagining it.
And imagining throwing Dave out and imagining closing the thing and locking it again. Yeah, why not? I can buy that.
That actually is
that's what he does. And then suddenly, back on the island, Dave is saying that the island is a pretense world, and that he's still in the hospital, and that means he hasn't won any money and so on, right?
Yeah. Now that was really a twister in my mind.
I could have bought that.
Again, I think it's the showrunners playing with the audience, but
kidding.
what if now there's, if Dave is gone, are we going to later see some more evidence and Hurley's going to believe it? I mean, that's an interesting...
the final scene, so you know what we are going to see.
I don't know anything anymore.
No more, okay.
I've sealed that up behind a concrete wall until we're done.
Exactly. Yeah, it's just laying there humming. Now, and Dave is actually trying to say that if you want to wake up from this stupid thing, you are going to have to jump. And then Dave jumps.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a bit of an odd thing. First of all, he glided out into the waves, so he landed in the water.
Yeah, that's true.
Wait a minute, that wouldn't happen to me if I dropped down. I would drop down straight on the stones underneath the cliff.
Yeah.
And Hurley would too, I can tell you that. Hurley doesn't glide anywhere. But Dave did. And that was... No, wait a minute. And then suddenly Libby shows up. And now, remember, he has seen Libby somewhere else. And she says, yes, we saw each other on the plane. No. And she saves him, and she tells him one thing. Mm-hmm. Libby says, do you remember how many was killed back then, or what the name was and whatever? She's giving him a control question, and he can't answer it, of course. But if it's all in his head, he should be able to do that. He should be able to answer those control questions, she says. Oh, I thought she was so professional, so clever, and so good. Oh, man, what I liked Libby in that moment. And then the next scene is Libby sitting with her pills in the hospital.
Oh, yes.
At the same time as Hurley's getting that picture taken.
Yep.
And I was, what? No, the show... No, I don't want the text. I want more. What?
Yeah. I like the fact, I'll back up just a second. I really like whenever, she kisses him and then he's like, maybe you should do it one more time just to be sure.
Right.
That was awesome.
That's also, yeah. All that scene was, and then building up to switching scenes.
But she didn't. Yeah, she didn't. And then you watch her face.
Yeah.
And when he's not looking, she sort of, I thought she made a face not a happy face. So it makes me wonder, okay, is she just doing this, being nice to him for some reason and she doesn't really like it? Or is she truly like him? Because she's been so forward, since the beginning. And now we see her. Now, and I watched her face in the hospital It didn't look like she was watching him. It looked like she was
Nope.
just zoned out in her own mind.
Totally. She was somewhere
Yeah.
completely different place.
So
Probably in heaven or something like that. But totally. And she was really looking old as well when she was in hospital. And I was thinking,
Yeah.
holy, that's 38 at least. She's not 20 something.
well, definitely ragged. I mean,
Yeah.
and then I thought, well, what if this whole thing is happening in her mind, based on what she said on the cliff,
exactly.
and then she's there. Maybe she's imagining all of this and not Hurley. So that will hurt your brain if that.
Totally. I can't go that way. I just have to go with something. But still, it's believable. I mean, it is. I can see it happen, but
that's the
not really.
That's the twisted person in me. Just
yeah, but then you have to both Libby and Hurley needs to figure out the Jin and Sun stuff, all the things that are happening.
Yeah.
I mean, why should they?
Oh, I don't.
It's really not, and we haven't seen anything from Libby's past yet. And my guess it's coming pretty soon.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed this one.
This was really, 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 and sitting in hospital as well, listening to it. It was fun because of the fact that I had contact with the other lady in the other bed at the same time, and there was yet another patient in as well, but she didn't want to listen to what we talked about. I had to talk to her because I felt like, yeah, I mean, this is so awesome. This is so awesome. So without her calming me down, so to speak, thinking the same thing that I did, I wouldn't have been surviving my hospital stay even. I just had to see. I had to stop watching because I have never been so far so close to seeing one extra episode.
Well, we can watch them after this. You can watch them.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's cool.
Well, so we only talked about one plot line in this episode.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
I have notes on Henry. Do you have any?
Should we start with a parachute because Sawyer is involved in that? I like that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, the parachute and the food, and of course, when everyone knows about that, everyone is there and it's a free-for-all, right? And Sawyer said, it's mine, it's mine, it's mine.
Yeah, that seemed a little out of character for him. He usually isn't so dopey about it.
No, but I mean, come on. He can't take the whole pallet for himself. No. That's impossible. And that I thought that was rather fun. It was sandbox. It was really something like that. Now, I did actually did do you wrong. Saeed is actually talking about that dollar. Yeah, in this episode. I see now that.
That's okay. That's what I thought. I was taking my notes like stream of consciousness, so I wrote like Henry digs himself deeper, but I didn't write what that was meaning, so I wasn't sure myself actually.
Well, I'm writing in Swedish because I had to write fast. I can't write fast in a foreign language. And yes, he does it. Oh, and Saeed does it so nicely. Mm-hmm. He really give me some more information. All right. Well, he had a broken neck. Okay, he had a broken neck. Mm-hmm. Well, he's just reeling him in. Very easy.
Well, so do you think that Henry put the numbers in the computer?
Nope.
You think it just flipped to the hieroglyphics and then went back to normal? Oh, man, it's so... Without knowing any more about him, it's so hard to say. I think I want to save this question for later, and when we find out finally his true identity, then I want to ask it again.
Oh.
And I'm not saying that with pre-knowledge. I'm just saying that because I don't... We know he's lying.
Absolutely. He's one of them.
So... Did he lie about everything? Like, first of all, I have to ask, does he even know? Did he know this hatch was here? Or is this a surprise to him? You know, like, there's so many now additional questions coming up because... And, again, like, the way he delivered those lines was just awesome.
Well, first of all, no, he didn't know about this hatch.
Okay.
I don't think he did. Not totally or exactly where it was, but they must have some sort of map of the 8-10 bunkers or hatches that are on this island. So they have used the facility with the medicine where they had Claire. And my guess is that they have had at least 5 more or something like that up on the northern. I call it northern side, and having our group on the southern island.
Yeah, you know what? The fact that they used that and then abandoned it, I think you're right. They do have knowledge of these stations, but
yes, not the exact location of each one. That storage room the tailies were in might have been one of the old ones the others used, or the Dharma people, or whatever. That could have been.
I mean, I guess. Oh man, that's good. You just made me think of some stuff. So if they abandoned it, they probably went back to some other secure base. If they abandoned the medical one,
they have because of that map, and you are totally right on that, my friend. That map really blew this island totally way open.
Yeah. Now, what about the Bible with the missing tape in it, though? That was in the. Was it the Aero Station? Now I forget.
Yes.
But so would the others have been the ones to take those clips and remove them, or I still think my leading theory, I'm just thinking through this on the fly, is maybe Calvin took that with him. But I'm
somehow
not sure.
I think that too. And perhaps he's dead. Perhaps he's one of those in the caves. We don't know that. We haven't yet. Those ones isn't finished. Adam and Eve, as they were called. One of them was a female. We haven't. That's a mystery we haven't solved. Kelvin might be. You're funny. You can remember the name.
Oh yeah. Well, actually, speaking of that dollar bill too, I remember having a thought whenever Saeed pulled it out. I thought that he was going to read off like the year on the dollar bill, and somehow that was going to prove that Henry's timeline was wrong. Obviously, that didn't happen, but I was like,
we did see the text on the bill.
Yes,
and it was exactly those words.
Yep. Yeah. So Henry's lied, and actually, oh man, now that we're talking, all these thoughts are coming in my head. So Henry at one point says that the bearded guy from the boat is not the leader, and that there's somebody above him that will kill them.
Yes.
Do you think that was also a lie, or is that...
No, that is true.
Okay.
In that case, Henry knew that he had crapped himself totally. He had totally made it. When the hit the fan, he knew that now he can't go any further. He's going to die somehow, isn't he? But he doesn't want to do it as a traitor. So no. But the funny fact is, when they say the bearded guy, they don't know about the fake beards. Saeed doesn't know that.
That's true. I mean, I thought Kate would have told... Well, wait, did they even tell them that they went to a medical place? No, because if they did, Jack would... Well, why haven't they? Because... Oh, wait a minute. Jack would definitely be interested in that. I completely forgot.
Yeah, it feels like that is totally an isolated event, and they haven't talked about it at all. I mean, Claire hasn't talked about it. Yeah. Danielle is out in the forest again. So on.
That place had rooms and stuff. Like, they could...
Absolutely. They can even have an operation theater where they can use if they need.
Well, and if they find that one again, they know 2 locations on the map. Now they can triangulate all the rest of the stations.
Absolutely.
If they all see, if they didn't hold secrets from each other,
really the whole truth. We are never going to get the whole truth. Never. And that's the problem.
Well, and I think also at this point, I would start asking Henry a lot of questions about things like, why are there polar bears? What are these stations? What's the black smoke thing? Like, I would be, if he's been here a while, like, now they need to get their answers from him. Not about the answers of who he is, but about where are they? Like,
exactly. Now, there is one point in this, and that is that Kate, when she found those fake beards back in that episode, she was called to the medicine thing because they thought they should get that covered up, and she had to help. And I'm not totally sure that Kate finally connected the dots between the beard, the glue, and Seki, the guy. And the problem is who in this case. Kate, normally the most clever of all heroines we have, suddenly doesn't connect the dots, and that feels odd. But she didn't, probably because of time. And now we don't know.
I feel like she said it to somebody, because I remember her saying like that there was tattered clothes and makeup and stuff. But
I'm not totally sure that she did. Now, however, Sayid is totally out of that. He has heard about the meeting because it was Locke and it was Sawyer and it was Jack who met Siki, and they were saying, here's the border, you're not going any further. Sayid wasn't in that. And that's important because it's Sayid who asked about the bearded man.
But he
has only heard about it.
Yeah, I'm sure that they told everyone about that, though.
Yes.
That
feels, yes.
It's pretty much implied because everybody knows about the army and why and that sort of thing.
Yeah, but I'm going to a point. Henry knew automatically which guy they were referring to directly. And Henry should know that beard is false. So that bearded guy is someone they are using in order to get a meeting done with strangers and stuff. So the bearded guy might even not be the same one each time.
Well, I think that guy, somehow, somebody somewhere in the show calls him Mr. Friendly. I'm pretty sure it's Sawyer, and that becomes his nickname. So that's, I think, the easy... or we can call him Zeke, I guess.
Yeah.
That makes sense, because that was named. Now, there was this whole question about whether or not Henry was captured on accident or on purpose.
Yeah, didn't answer that.
What do you think at this... So now we know he's definitely lying.
That was on purpose. He wasn't supposed to be shot in the shoulder. But are you stupid enough to run? You just have to.
Well, it seems dumb that so twice they've inserted somebody in these two camps. Twice those people got found out and killed. Now a third time they try to insert somebody with a bad alibi.
Yep.
That's tactic seems dumb.
Yep, it is too early. I don't think Henry was supposed to be caught this time. He has his story, so if anything happens to him, that's why he is out there. But why is he going around Daniel's place? Why isn't he down at the base? Daniel is way more dangerous for the others. Because she's not having all the chickens at home.
Well, we don't really know at this point where Danielle is anymore, because she left the area.
She's all over the place.
So
she's a good woman on that one. But I'm not trusting her either. But the fun fact is, Henry didn't ask which bearded guy. He knew which one they alluded when they thought about. Yeah. And then Sayid wants to shoot him. And Ana Lucia decides, no, you're not.
And he does fire.
Absolutely.
That was interesting.
Inside a concrete bunker.
Yeah.
Anything goes around can hit anything. Now, the problem with this is, I put down this one. It seems like Ana Lucia has her own plans. Would she rather be with the others?
No, but
well, she doesn't fit in with the gang.
I don't know what her purpose is yet, because she's not going to be the leader, and she's not going to be the
Nope.
military guy. She's not going to be the interrogator because that's Saeed. Like, I don't know what her role is going to
Exactly.
be.
Perhaps she can just as well be with the others. Now, we haven't seen her whole flashback story yet because she's not a cop anymore. Mm-hmm. But how did that happen? We don't know that. Her mother is her chief. So perhaps she could have still been a cop.
Somehow that's a good point because, yeah, she's in Australia. So maybe because she was suspended after the shooting, then she was reinstated. So did she lose it again? I don't.
I think she actually. Well, I haven't seen her flashback, but my guess is that she told her mother about her killing that guy because she wanted to put the bullets in. And another thing, she used her police gun, and they are very special. These Smith and Wessons, because they are all marked and stuff. Yeah. Even their bullets are actually marked and stuff. So when they get that guy in, they check the bullets inside him. They will see that this is police bullets and point their finger against Ana Lucia. So my thought is she has gone to her mother and said, I shot that guy.
Well, I think they knew she shot her, but they thought it was self-defense or something like that.
Yeah, might be. Well, we'll see about that in the next flashback.
Wait a minute. You're right. Sorry. The first time she was in a shooting, officer-involved shooting, that was what I was thinking of. You're talking about after the court.
Yeah.
Yeah. She shoots. Yeah. You know what? She probably flees. I bet she doesn't tell her mom. I bet she just leaves.
Perhaps, but she's leaving the force.
Yeah.
Because she's so certain that she was a cop. To me, she still is, but that's because I think that if you once become a cop, you probably are that for the rest of your life, whether you want it or not. Mm-hmm. It's in your blood to be a detective and stuff. But we'll see that the flashback. But now it felt like she was. I was looking at her face when she looked at Henry, and it feels like you and me, Henry, we are going north. It felt like that. I'm not saying it is true, but still.
Well, I mean, so of all those people, right, her and Saeed both, well, and Sawyer actually, are the most likely to seek revenge against the others.
Yes.
And yet they're not bonding together.
Nope.
They're
not at all.
It's interesting. I don't know. I guess we're gonna have to watch a few more of these episodes. They're gonna twist.
No kidding. Can we start now? No, there is one more thing. There is actually one more thing, and that is Locke needs to get that trust problem out of his way. So he needs to talk to Henry. And what does he ask him? What is your name? I mean, please. You trusted this guy, yes, but that guy was actually trying to stay put because he doesn't know what he's going to run up against. If he runs away 1 meter too far, Jack finds him, he's dead. If Saeed finds him, he's dead. He needs to get more information about this place. And having Locke on his side, that's the perfect target. Now, the whistle has blown. Henry is not Henry. Henry is no one. But you can still call me Henry. Okay. But still, Locke needs to get his trust problem out of the way. Mm-hmm. And, well, I think Locke doesn't trust Henry anymore. Or does he? That's the problem.
I mean, I would assume no. I mean, that would be a smart thing to do.
But, you and I wouldn't, exactly.
But, like, maybe it's one of those, like, know your enemy things, and so once you know. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
Absolutely, and that's the problem. We always have to wait and see. We have, as you said from the word get-go, when we did the introduction of this series, you said we are going to have a lot of questions. And I thought, 1 or 2 or 3. Man, I haven't even counted the numbers of questions. And where's Vincent?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and so on and so forth. Now, overall, this is a very good show. I can't stop thinking about it. And when I'm even connecting with total strangers in a hospital because of Lost, well, it is a very good show. That has never happened before. Well, what you call it, talk around the water
Water cooler. Yep.
Yeah. Well, we did that a lot, but in my old days, it was mostly about sports, so I couldn't compare and do anything. I hadn't watched it, so I didn't know anything. But this time, suddenly, inside a totally strange environment, I get hooked up with someone who had watched it, and that was totally awesome. And that during 2 awesome episodes.
Good.
You can't get it much better than that, man.
Well,
so cool.
we got 3 coming up. We have 6 more total.
Yep.
So
For
next week we've got 19, which is SOS.
Yeah.
I don't know what this one is.
Oh.
We have 20, which is 2 for the road. I don't know what that's for. Oh, wait, I do. I think I do know what happens in that one. And 20,
I'm not reading the back.
and 21 is just called question mark, which that one I know one thing that happens in it, but I don't remember why it happens. So,
but there's a lot of why and where and when and well, never mind. Questions on.
I'll know in about 3 hours. No,
I'm not kidding. Yeah, right. Well, I hope you who are watching this for the first or for the 6th or the 10th time or whatever, when you're following us, you are having just as much fun as we have, because this is awesome. This is totally awesome, and I love the island.
Cool.
I'm betting my money on the island. I think island's going to win.
I don't know.
Right. Anything else to add to this?
Nope. I don't think so. I'm enjoying it.
Then we end our japping here and see you again in a week.
Bye.
Bye.